Buenas noches, bienvenidas, bienvenidos a todas las personas que se están vinculando, que se están uniendo a esta conversación tan interesante. Bueno, yo estoy súper emocionada con el invitado que tengo hoy. Están viendo aquí en la pantalla unido a Abhijeet. Entonces, Abhijeet es un compañero muy especial que hizo el curso avanzado de yoga conmigo en India a principio de este año. Y pues con ocasión del Diwali, él ya nos va a contar qué es eso. Diwali es la fiesta de las luces. Él nos va a compartir un poquito más de qué se trata esto. Justamente lo invité porque es un apasionado de todo lo que tiene que ver con su cultura, con el significado de las cosas. Entonces, bueno, por eso tengo el honor de tenerlo aquí conmigo hoy. Así que a partir de ahora, gracias a todos quienes se están conectando, vamos a tener la conversación en inglés, porque Abhijeet, bueno, pues no habla español. Entonces, gracias a todos los que se están conectando. Well, Abhijeet, welcome. Welcome to
Namaste. Thank
this
you.
namaste to this. Thanks for attending this invitation. I was telling my audience that I'm very honored to have you here tonight. I know for you it's very early in the morning because I really admire you very much because of your knowledge and your passion about all the Indian stories, culture, and all that related to yoga. So thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
Abhijeet, so my first question to you is, in your words, could you please tell us who is Abhijeet and what brought you to the path of yoga in the first place?
Okay. So, well, I'm from India, as already introduced, and I'm from Uttarakhand, and I come from Himalayas basically. So my hometown is in the foothills of Himalayas, and it's a beautiful city called Almora. And I was born here, not really brought up here. I have been to residential schools and my college had been outside. I have been to states for a small duration. So I have been traveling and coming. Like it's been a long journey throughout the globe. So there are so many things which I would think that I am, but because we are talking about yoga here, so I
Yeah,
can say I am nobody.
yeah, I know.
So what about leaving things, but you think you are not adding on to that. So yeah, for now I'm more of a yoga aspirant and trying to find my way through all this knowledge and try to grab some hold of some amount of truth that I can. So that's been most of the thing for me now. Otherwise, I would say I'm an environmentalist, and I have my master's in environment, and I love to do something for the local environment well-being. It's been a very important thing right now, and at this moment of time, it's one of the most important thing we can do. And yeah, that's pretty much all about it.
Oh, thank you. You're very humble, Abhijit, and thanks for that. Starting to talk about the another important subject that joins us here tonight is Diwali. So,
Sure.
yeah, could you please explain us what Diwali is? Because yeah, just for your knowledge or your background on this subject, here in this on our countries in Latin America, and maybe you know because you lived in the States, we don't necessarily celebrate that this occasion, and we don't know what it is about. So, starting from that, please tell us more about Diwali.
Okay, definitely. So Deepavali is it's one of the most beautiful festival celebrated here in India at this time. It's mostly the October or the November. So in Indian languages, it would be the Kartik month. So we celebrate during Kartik month. So Diwali is loosely changed new word. So it's basically Deepavali. So Deepavali, the word comes
Mhm.
from Deepa means the lighted lamp that Edna have lighted. And Vali means the line of them. So it's not just a single lamp we light. So we put the line of whole lamps.
Uh-huh.
So it itself, the name itself is the significance that to make something a celebration, a single lighted lamp is not enough. We need to have a whole complete line and range of light. So if you find something beautiful in your life, you find that light in your life, you have to make a valley of it. You have to make a line of it, and you have to pass it on to other people also. So when everybody would have that light around you, then only it will become a celebration. So the word itself has a very deep significance. So it's not just a single deep, it's the Deepavali. Uh,
Okay. Very
and the
interesting.
Deepavali is, I would say, it's less of a Indian festival. It's been from time immemorial. So Indian, the dharma we follow is, we call it Hinduism nowadays, but it had never been Hinduism as such. The Hindu word itself just referred to the geographical location. So it's the dharma that's we followed, or Sanatan dharma. Sanatan means that has been eternal. So Deepavali has been celebrated for like past, say it was during the Krishna, and Krishna walked the earth 5,000 years ago, and the Rama, who is main significant figure of Deepavali, he walked the earth 7,000 years ago. And it has some relation to Samudra Manthan, that's been even a longer period. So it has been celebrated forever. So
Yes.
I was in a state, and I had a few of my American friends with me celebrating Deepavali, and they were just celebrating it. It was very normal for them, having some feast and seeing what we are doing. But all of a sudden, I just told them, you just became part of something that has been done for last 7,000 years. So this itself is make it such a magnanimous thing, and that something has been carried on for so long, and have been made a point that it has to be celebrated, and it is still celebrated with the same enthusiasm here. So Deepavali have so many roots in our Puranas and Itihasa also. So there are two kinds of a story you will find in Sanatan Dharma or Indian mythology. So there are few myths. They call it mythology, but they are not as such myths, because they are more of decoded stories. So you
Mhm.
have to coded stories, and you have to decipher them in order to understand them. So they
Okay.
goes to the Purana part. So Purana is more of a story that you that need not to be happened as such, but it had some significance. It has more deeper meaning than what is said. Like when we talk about the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, or say Lakshmi and Narayan for Deepavali purpose, like how Narayan is there and Lakshmi is there, and there was churning of an ocean, and out of that ocean so many beautiful things came up, and from there came the Lakshmi also. So this is a story. I will just go through it again.
Yes.
So this is one of these stories. So this story sounds, it sounds like myth to many people, but
Yeah.
it has some deeper significance. So today in this conversation, and being we all being some yoga aspirants and trying to look things deeper, having deeper understanding. So we would try to see it in a different light. So apart from the this part, it also relates to two of our itihasa. So itihasa means does it happen? Itihasa means history. So it is not a story, it is what happened. It
Mm-hmm.
actually happened. So the Ramayana and Mahabharata, Ramayana is the time of Rama, and the Mahabharata is time of Krishna. So these two periods actually happened in India. These two great personality actually walked the earth, and this goes back and attached to them. It is connected to them. The Ramayana period also, Mahabharata period also. So we would see that aspect. So let's go back to Samudra Manthan. It's long ago.
Yes.
So Samudra Manthan will talk more about gods and deities that are not here, some places that are not on Earth. Some, like, it's more of a cosmicological thing. So there are good things and bad things. So basically, I will go through story and then see how it can relate to us. So they were gods and they were demons. Actually, there is no concept of devil in Sanatana Dharma. It's only a lower form of God. There is
Okay.
nothing like entity. So they are basically devas and daityas. They are called devas and daityas. Devas and daityas are actually cousins to each other. They are not even cousins. They are son to same father. They are stepbrothers.
Uh-huh.
So two sisters got married to one great Muni, Diti and Aditi, and they had different child, those two sisters. So one sister had the progeny called Devas, they had all the good qualities, supposedly, and Daityas not so favorable qualities, it can be said like that. So they are nothing like anti or opposites. So they naturally had a conflicting nature. So anything in nature, anything have a conflicting nature, like day and night and everything. It works in
Mm-hmm.
complementarity.
Yeah.
So similarly, Devas and Daityas, so they always used to fight. They had a huge issue every time. So Devas were given more of charge of, like taking care of the universe, like how Indradev, he would be responsible for rains, and then these five elements, they are related to five Devas. So similarly, there were different good entities that were working and some bad entities. So they both started having a big fight. So they went to the supreme powers. So they are the trinity in Sanatana Dharma. They are called Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh.
Mm-hmm.
The world God, it is generator, operator, and destroyer. That is actually Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. So the generating power of this cosmos is Brahma, one who creates, and operator or maintenance power is one who is maintaining everything is Vishnu.
Mm-hmm.
And then the destruction, or in a better word, transformation, because anything if has to be transformed has to be destroyed first.
Mm-hmm.
That is Shiva. So that is God. So these three Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, they went to them and they are like, we have a lot of disputes and we should be doing something. So they put them into a task. They said that there is a big ocean, very big ocean. You put and you start churning it. So when you churn milk, the butter comes up. Whenever you churn anything, something good comes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they put them into that job. It's called Samudra Manthan. So Samudra is ocean, Manthan is churning. So for doing that, they brought a big mountain. So I'm not going to the names actually. There is no point. Just trying to get an idea of story. It's
Okay,
very
thank you.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So they got a big ocean, and for churning that ocean, a normal stick won't work. Like here in household, we would have a small pot and a big rod kind of thing, and we would churn the milk through it. But that won't work for an ocean. So for that, they had to bring a big mountain in between the ocean. And now, what would be the rope to churn it? So the rope was Adishesha. There was a big snake from mythology. So that was the rope. So towards the mouth of the snake was the Daityas, and towards the tail of the snake was Devas. So see, Daityas actually were very innocent. Huh? They can be fooled. They were put at the mouth of the snake. So they both started churning the ocean, and so many beautiful ratnas started coming up. Like one of the god of, say, mother of all cows, called Kamdhenu. So Kamdhenu has the ability to, wish, grant any wish. Then the king of all elephants, Eravat. Then best of the ratnas, best of the jewelries, rubies, everything started coming out. The treasures coming out. But before all that, something came out was halahal wish. It was the poison, which was very dangerous. And as soon as it started coming out of the ocean, every creation started dying. So at
Mm-hmm.
that moment, they were panicked, like what happened? We thought there would something good come up. So they were actually looking for nectar, elixir, that's called amrit.
Amrit.
So they were looking for that in the ocean. But the halahal came. So when halahal came, they brought Shiva, and Shiva took that halahal. He drank everything, and he had a blue throat. That is a different story. If we
Yeah.
would have some other time, we would talk about it. He's called Neelakanta for that purpose. And then after halahal came, so he kept it to his throat. He never had it out. He kept it to his throat and stopped it there. So it did not affect him or anyone else. So after halahal, all the ratnas came and everything came, and then came the Lakshmi. So when Lakshmi came, so they were distributing everything among, few things were given to Devas, few things were given to Daityas. When Lakshmi came, everyone started running towards her. So Lakshmi is basically this beautiful goddess who have a lot of prosperity and wealth along with her. So just imagine a beautiful lady with a lot of wealth. Who won't
Mhm.
sought after her? So everyone started sorting after her. So, but she went to Lord Narayana, the maintaining part, and that makes sense. The whole wealth should be with someone who is maintaining the universe, right? The manager should have all the wealth. So she went to Narayana, and after that came the Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari came with a kalash that had the elixir, or say Amrit, and then it was distributed, and it's whole different story after that. So this is why this is story, because this is the beginning point of Lakshmi,
Yeah.
Adi Lakshmi, how the Lakshmi came. So Lakshmi is the daughter of Samudra. Samudra is ocean. So she came out of the ocean and went to the Narayana. So now how it relate to us is, there is always this churning happening inside us. So this big Samudra is actually our own mind, which
Mhm.
is full of so many things, good and bad. And it has the ability, it is said that mind is the only one which will keep us trapped, and mind is the only thing that can liberate us also. So it has the ability to give that elixir from inside. We have that elixir in our mind only. So for that, we need to churn it. We need to churn it continuously. So that churning, when it happens, when how it happens, there is something good part of us and there is something not so good part of us, and it is continuously churning that man. And when that man is churning, we sit, and that is swadhyaya said in yoga, like when we are self-examining, self introspection, we are doing
Mhm.
that. So we are actually started churning it, and then from that churning, the first thing comes up is all of course the wish, the all the bad feelings, all the ill feelings. So we should keep it to our throat only. We should not be spitting that out.
Yeah.
And then definitely start coming the ratnas, our skills start coming up, beautiful skills start coming up, just if we continuously do this swadhyaya. And then comes the Lakshmi, that is the prosperity, or prosperity, wealth in the sense whole overall, like you would be attracting people like Lakshmi was. So that would come up, and that is actual Lakshmi that you have inside, and it has she has to be brought up by continuous churning of this swadhyaya. So that would be the actual significance of Lakshmi in our life, the Mahalakshmi in our life. And when that Lakshmi comes up, she goes to the Narayana. Narayana is that when our nervous system is in perfect sync. It's in perfect sync. That is Narayana. Narayana is showing, is shown, is depicted like she is sleeping. He's like relaxing, and it's so amazing that someone who is managing whole universe is actually lying down and sleeping. So it seems he is sleeping, but he's resting, because if you are agitated, you can't handle things properly. You can only handle things properly when you are very relaxed. But he's relaxing on top of a snake. So I should have figures with me. So it's very beautiful. There is a big snake with 7 heads or 5 heads. It's called Adishesha, and he's sleeping on top of the coil of that snake. So a snake here in yoga and the Hindu history, Sanatan Dharma, is significance of awareness. The Kundalini also is a snake, right? So he's putting his head on the snake. So that is like he's very aware yet resting. So that kind of consciousness when we have, and when we churn, the Lakshmi will come up and be with that consciousness. So prosperity, this material and spiritual wealth will come along with it. So that is actual Lakshmi, and that Lakshmi should be worshipped, not only just the idol outside. So idol is just the reflection of what's already inside. So
Mhm.
Deepavali is mainly the Lakshmi Puja day. That's why I wanted to start with actually understanding what Lakshmi is. So don't think Lakshmi is somewhere in, some outer space. She's very much inside. We have to bring her up, and she will come up and spread the prosperity. So that's a see, this can be called a myth. Like, where can be such a ocean? Where can be such churning happen? So this is all inside us. This is sanatana. That's why it is eternal. That story is happening every day in everyone. It's not up to one person. It's not related to one country. It is for every humankind. So that is what this significance of Lakshmi Puja, and Deepavali. Now coming to the Itihasa part. So first going to the Rama. Rama came before Krishna. It's in Sanatan there have been different
Abhijit,
yugas. One of
excuse me, I interrupt you. Because I would like to like to make a stop here because you're going to start like a new story, right?
yeah.
Yeah, because I would like to like make a little summary of this beautiful story that you have just shared with us.
Sure.
Yeah, for the
Sure.
people, yeah, maybe to understand a little more. Aquí voy a hablarles un momentito en español. It's not going to take long because I'm not going to repeat everything. Thank you. Porque aquí Abhijit nos acaba de compartir una historia muy linda de donde viene el Deepavali. Sí, primero, pues que Deepavali como tal significa una línea de luces, una secuencia de luces y tiene por detrás, bueno, muchas historias, pero la que nos acaba de compartir es muy linda porque tiene que ver con los dioses de la creación, es decir, la representación de la creación, la preservación y la transformación, la destrucción para volver a crear. Estaban en un océano de leche y básicamente él dice que tenían que mover, bueno, había también como unos dioses con unas cualidades, digamos, muy armónicas, había otros con unas cualidades no tan armónicas, en una punta, los primeros, digamos, unidos por una serpiente, los primeros en la boca, los últimos en la cola, y llegan los dioses a batir la leche. Finalmente él dice algo muy lindo, y es que cuando batimos, pues de aquí sale la mantequilla, entonces también por eso es la transformación de lo que sale aquí. Y inicialmente después de mover todo esto sale como un veneno, si estaban buscando unos elixires, pero sale un veneno que Shiva, la personificación de la transformación, de la destrucción, decide comer y dejar en su garganta para que no le haga daño a él ni a nadie más. Y después de esta depuración sale finalmente Lakshmi. Lakshmi es esa representación femenina de la transformación, de la preservación, que se caracteriza por su belleza, por la abundancia, por la riqueza. Entonces él nos dice que en últimas esta es una historia que pues no es necesariamente mítica, si tiene un trasfondo mucho más profundo que aplica a todos los seres humanos, trascendiendo las fronteras de países, de creencias, y es que finalmente necesitamos como seres humanos hacer ese movimiento de básicamente de nuestra mente para ir filtrando aquellas cosas que nos aportan en la vida, aquellas que no, a ese propósito de la felicidad, de manera que primero salgan a la superficie esas cosas negativas, por llamarlo de alguna manera, esas cosas que generan un veneno en términos de matar el propósito que tenemos en la vida. Y por eso es bueno que lo mantengamos para nosotros y que no salga como disparado hacia otras personas para hacerles daño. Y por otra parte, después de que sale eso, digamos, no tan favorable para nuestro propósito de vida, sale la figura de Lakshmi, ¿sí? Atraemos a nuestra vida riqueza, belleza, abundancia. Entonces de eso se trata esta historia, esa aplicación para nuestra vida. Abhijit, I've finished the summary. So please, now, ahora Abhijit nos va a contar otra historia relacionada con Rama, que también tiene que ver con esto. So please, let's continue with the next story.
So this next story is the most popular version that goes on. So it comes from the time of Ramayana, when the Rama walked the earth. So Lord Narayana, he came in many avatars actually, but there were 10 main avatars of Lord Narayana. One still have to happen in Kali Yuga, this Yuga, according to our texts. So out of those 10 avatars, all 10 avatars came to, when dharma was in danger. So they came and gave an example how one should be living, and what is dharma, what is adharma, and how dharma should be prevailing. So it's called Ram, one of the avatar. So Rama is like seventh avatar. Uh, After that, Krishna, Buddha, and one has to happen. So Lord Rama came. So he comes from a very rich dynasty of kings in India. It goes back to the king who is responsible to bring the Ganga to the earth. River Ganga, holy river Ganga, we worship it, called Bhagirath. So he comes from the same dynasty as Suryavanshi. So Suryavanshis means those who are descendant of sun. They are Suryavanshis. So that is Rama. So the Ramayana is whole big chapter and have a lot of interesting subjects. But we won't go in that much detail. I will crux it out, giving you a main timeline of Ramayana. So Rama was born. He was born to King Dashrath. So Dashrath was a big king in the one of the most prosperous city of that time called Ayodhya. It's in India, Uttar Pradesh, the northern part. So in there, the Dashrath was reigning, and he had three wives. So it was pretty common at that time to have more wives. So he had three wives, and he had no progeny to take his kingdom forward. So he had a small yagna done. So that was a thing back then. And after that yagna, he had four kids. So the Rama was the eldest, coming from the Kaushalya. Then came the Kekai. Kekai had Bharata, and then came Sumitra, the youngest one. She had two kids, Bharat and Shastrughna. So these were four brothers, and these four brothers had amazing teachings and everything. And Rama was himself the incarnation of Lord Narayana. But Lord Narayana did not come to the earth in form of God this time. He came to the earth in form of a human, and he wanted to show that how a simple human can raise up to the standard of God. So the Rama we worship today was just as fragile, as emotional, as everything like all of us. He was very much relatable to us, because rest of the God, when you will see, you would say, they were God, they can do it. They had some superpowers. Rama had no superpowers. He was very ordinary human who lifted himself up to the stature of God just by his karmas, by following the dharma. So that's what he taught us. So that's what the inspiration, the name Rama signifies. So Rama became the God by his own deeds, by his own hard work. He had to put the hard work. There was nothing simple for him. It was always complicated for him. So he went to Gurukul. He learned everything. So he had that charm, of course, because he is, coming out of a god. So he had that charm. So everything was beautiful around him until he came back. Once he came back, so the second stepmother called Kekai. So Kekai wanted the kingdom to go to Bharata instead of Rama. So Rama was gonna be coronated as king, but Kekai wanted it for the Bharata. Kekai made it a plan, and she sent him to the Vanvasa. Vanvasa is you go and live in forest like the what we call celibates. So Rama was already before that, Rama was married to Sita. Sita was daughter of Janak, another big king who was very knowledgeable also. So Sita and Rama were married. They were gonna be the king and queen of Ayodhya, and everybody wanted that. Even the common mass wanted that. The Dashrath wanted that. Their guru Vashishta wanted that. Everybody had a common view, unanimous. But Kekai plotted against him and sent him to the forest. Now he went to forest. He was so humble. Once his father said, not even Dashrath did not even actually say. Dashrath gave word to Kekai once before that whenever you will ask me a boon, I will give it to you. So Kekai was so clever. She took the opportunity to ask for that boon. So she wasn't a bad lady. Huh? Just to clarify, she was very nice. She loved Rama a lot. But it was a grand plan that was going. When we see in a big picture, then we understand it was just a grand plan. And there was a lady who was filling her ears. So she was not totally so bad. But no one is named Kekai after then in India. Kekai is a forbidden name now. So So Dashrath, just to keep the words of his father, Rama went to the forest and started living as, a forest dweller. And his wife said, no, 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 I won't be living here. And she was princess from birth, Sita. So Rama said, I can't take you, like I brought you from your father's home, from the best comfort you had, and I can't take you to forest to live like a forest dweller. You should be living like a queen. And Kekai was like, okay, it's okay. She can be here. I have no problem with her. So everyone, she would have been living like not a queen, but in palace with all the comfort. But no, she said no. So here we take like here in India, marriage is much complicated. It's not a small term agreement. It's for 7 lifetimes. So it's more complicated than a Western concept of marriage. So there is no concept of divorce because you are connected to 7 lifetimes. So you have to be with that person even in next lifetime. That was supposed to be the meaning of marriage. So Sita is another biggest example. So Sita said, no, if you will go somewhere, I will come with you, whatever condition that would be. So Sita went along, and so two brothers, the Bharat, for whom everything was happening. Bharat loved Rama a lot. Bharat was not there, and Shatrughan was not there. So they went to their maternal place for visiting. At that time, this was happening. Otherwise, Bharat would have stopped it. So the fourth brother, Lakshman went along with them. He's like, I will be serving you, whatever you need. I will be coming. Lakshman loved Rama a lot. So they all went to forest, and in forest there was a lady who came and proposed Rama to marry. So that was very common that time. The kings can have so many wives. But Rama promised Sita once that you are the only one who is in my heart, and you would be the only one who is in my heart. So it's very romantic how they loved each other so deeply. And he said, I can't marry you because I'm already married to Sita, and I promised her I won't marry anyone else. There will be no other lady in my life. So she went to Lakshman. So yeah, why not you marry me? You are equally. It means you are also good enough. Not like Rama, but you are good enough. And Lakshman said, because I am forest dwelling and I am serving my brother here, he had a lot, that dasya bhava in bhakti, it is called, like pure servant feeling. So he had that kind of relationship with his brother. So he said, I can't even think about marriage. He also had a wife back at home, so he can't be taking another. So that dispute went on, and she started, creating havoc. She came in a very beautiful form, and suddenly she came out of her beautiful form, and she was actually one of the Daityas, relating to Daityas. So she was partial Daitya, partial Pandit. Ravana's sister, basically. So Ravana was son of a Daitya mother and a Muni. So Ravan has the Brahman qualities as well as the Daitya qualities. So she was sister of Ravana, and she started becoming violent, and Lakshman was very enthusiastic every time. So he couldn't hold him, and back in those days, you can't hurt any lady. It's very offensive to even say bad words to a lady. So the ladies were always worshipped in Indian culture. So he couldn't actually harm him, but Lakshman could not hold himself, and Lakshman threw the one of his his knife and cut the nose of that lady, because nose is one of the big beauty part. So she's called Surpanakha. Surpanakha, her nose got cut. Nakha means the nose. So it's a, I'm taking it very short story. So she got very angry because her nose is cut now, and she went to her brothers. First she went to some cousin brothers. They tried and they couldn't, and they were both killed by Rama and Lakshman. And then she went to Ravana, and Ravana became very angry. He's like, I'm gonna take revenge of this. And Ravana came, and he heard that they are not a normal beings. They are very much, they have all big weaponaries and everything. So Ravana was very clever. He was also a Pandit. So he came in a disguised form as a sage and asked. So what they did, there is this small story where Sita was just sitting outside. So Ravana sent one of his relative, and he could transform himself. So he transformed himself as the Swarnam ring. sone ka hiran. In Hindi we say, in Sanskrit we say swarnamrit. That means the deer that was golden, the golden deer. So the golden deer ran in front of the Sita, and Sita wanted to see it. So she sent Rama, please go and get that golden deer. She got distracted with the golden deer. And Rama said, no, I can't leave you. But Rama said, okay, Lakshman is there. Lakshman will take care. I will go. So Rama went, and then golden deer was not a ordinary golden deer. He was to trick Rama. So he went deep into the forest. And Rama, when shot him to catch him, he made a sound and called out for Lakshmana. Lakshmana in the voice of Rama. So Sita and Lakshmana thought that Rama is in some difficulty. And she asked Lakshmana to go and help his brother. But Lakshman was not ready because Ram told him to take care of Sita, because it's a big forest. In between that forest they are. So Lakshmana was not ready, but Sita, continuously said, no, you have to go, you have to go, you have to go. Eventually Lakshmana had to go, but before going, he drew a line in front of the cottage that is called Lakshmana Rekha, the line drawn by the Lakshman. He said, do not cross this line. And if anything, any being, human, animal, have any ill intention to hurt you, cannot cross this line. As soon as he will cross this line or she will cross this line, they will be burnt into the ashes. That kind of mantra power he had. So he drew the line. And Sita said, okay, I will be inside this line. You go and help your brother first. So Lakshmana went to. And when this was all happening, the Ravana was looking at everything. And then he came as the disguised Brahmana, and he came and he asked, give me some elms. For Bhiksha he came, give me some elms. So at those days, even if you are dwelling in forest, whatever little you have to share if someone comes and asks. So Sita came from inside, and Sita said, here, take it. So he when Sita went inside, he tried to cross the line, and he was getting that burn thing. That's why he came in disguise, because he couldn't cross that line. It was so powerful. So he stayed outside the line. Sita came, come and take it. I can't come outside this line. He's like, you are so proudy and you're not wanting to giving me all this. If you have to give, come here and give me. Now Sita was so confused, but you can't send someone like that. It would be so bad at those days. So she said, okay, he's a monk. So what bad he can do? She came outside the line. That was, and as soon as he came outside the line, the Ravana turned into the actual Ravana and took the Sita all the way to Sri Lanka in a flight. So he had a Pushpak Viman. That was a Viman means aeroplane basically. So he went all the way to Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, when Rama and Lakshmana came back, they were so disturbed not seeing Sita there. And Ram was very in actual Ramayana, it's purely written how Rama was, crying for Sita. He was so much weeping for Sita, longing for Sita. He was asking every tree, every animal, have you seen Sita? Because there was no human. So whom to ask? He was asking everywhere. And Sita was quite clever. When she was going up through the air, she started throwing her jewelries down so that Rama can find and, figure out where I'm heading. And there was a big bird who tried to save Sita, but he couldn't save because he was killed by Ravana. So when they were walking through the forest, they started finding the jewelry things, and they identified it Sita. So they kept on following the trail, and then they found that half dead bird, and that bird told that Ravana took her. So nobody knew. So they are from the north, somewhere in the middle part of India, and Ravana took to all the part south, miles, thousands of miles away to Sri Lanka. That is even beyond a big sea, that Indian Ocean basically. So you had to cross ocean in order to go there. So then Rama found a monkey king, and then they form an army, and then he sent so many people to search Sita in different directions. One of those was Hanumana. Hanuman is the god, the son of wind. It is said Vayu Putra, son of wind. Wind is one of the devas. So Hanuman had a lot of. He was the biggest devotee of Rama. He never met Rama before, but he was biggest devotee of Rama. He always used to chant Rama Rama. So when he went to the south extreme of the India, he took a jump all the way to Sri Lanka. So he was so powerful. And he took a jump all the way to Sri Lanka. He found Sita and then came back, told Rama. Then they all went. Then they make this big bridge through the ocean. It's a beautiful story. And then they went and killed Ravana and brought back Sita. So once the Sita was back, Ravana was killed. He did not take the empire of Lanka. So basically, the Sri Lanka was made of gold. It was a golden empire. But he did not take that. He gave it to the brother of Ravana, who was more dharmic, Vibhishana, and came back to Ayodhya. When they came back to Ayodhya that day, because they were out for 14 years and the Bharat did not take the throne yet. Bharat came to forest and took the padukas. Padukas mean the sleepers of Rama, took them to his head. He was so devoted to his brother and kept those slippers on the throne. So Rama would be the king. That's what he said. I'm only his servant taking care of his job until he's back. So when Rama came back, the actual king, the promised king came back. So Ayodhya, that was the darkest night of the year. That is the Kartik Amavasya that happened, this Diwali, yesterday in India. So that was the darkest night, and the whole Ayodhya lighted up with the lamps. People were so happy. They started celebrating, distributing sweets. It became a big festival. So that became the Diwali tradition that has been followed through the time. How the decorations and everything came up. So this is the story, the whole story. But again, since this actually happened, but it has a small significance. I will be very quick about that also. Try to understand how it relates to us. It happened 7,000 years ago. Why do we have to celebrate it today? It does not make sense to so many people. And okay, it's an Indian thing. No. How it can relate to every single human, we can just see. So Ra means the radiance, the light, and Ma means mind. So that light within inside us is Rama. Rama, light within me. And that light is married to Sita. Sita is the mind. That is Chanchal, because mind goes after that golden years, not the light goes after the golden years. So that mind has tendency to look out and every time get away from the self. Our mind, it keeps on wandering everywhere and goes away from the self, though the mind loves self a lot. And they are with the Lakshmana. Lakshmana is enthusiasm, the enthusiasm in our life or the skills in our life that is always serving our mind as well as the light inside us. So that is the Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana inside us. And where they are in a city called Ayodhya. Ayodhya means where there is no war. Inside our body, everything is so synchronized. There is no war. If there would be war inside this, our system will be falling. If it is a stable system, there is no war inside. That is called Ayodhya. It's a nagar. It's entire city. Something goes from here. There is this pathway, this passage, and it is ruled by Dashratha. Dashratha is 10. So we have 10 sense organs. 10 organs, I would say. Karmendriya and Jnanendriya, we say it. 5 sense organ and 5 working organs. So this is Dasratha. Ratha means chariot. So a chariot that's driven by the 10 horses. So these 10 horses are 10 organ of senses and 10 organ of karmas. And so the Rama and Ravana is the ego. Ego or that ahankar. Ravana had 10 heads. So 10 heads are 10. He had the knowledge of 10 sides actually. And he was very knowledgeable yet very egoistic. So that ego always take our mind and take it away from the self. When we started identifying ourselves with something else, that arrogance, that ego, all the bad qualities we would have, that takes our mind away from the self. And the Hanumana was the son of the Vayu, the wind. And what is the wind in us? The breath. So the breath helped our Rama to get back Sita from Ravana. So that small Ramayana is actually happening inside us. So that is what Diwali is.
Wow,
coming
Abhijeet,
back. Yeah.
that's a very, very beautiful story. I really have heard the story before. It's very famous, of course, that of Rama and Sita. But I've never heard about the significance of our in our beings. So that's very beautiful. If you give me a couple of minutes, I would
Sure,
love to
definitely, definitely.
do some short summary in Spanish. Muy bien, la historia que nos acaba de contar Abhijit, una muy famosa de el señor Rama y Sita. Sí, Rama es, bueno, y también Rama es el séptimo avatar de Vishnu, de esa representación de la deidad que tiene que ver con la preservación, como hablábamos antes, digamos que todo este festival honra la preservación, ese sentido de preservación de todo lo que existe. Y Rama era el hijo de un rey, no obstante, una de sus madrastras pues no quería que él fuera rey y convenció al rey de que mandara a Rama al bosque. Él estaba casado con Sita, sí, Rama y Sita es una pareja súper, digamos, famosa e icónica de la tradición india. Y bueno, ellos estaban súper enamorados y Rama le prometió a Sita que no iba a tener ninguna otra mujer. Digamos que en la tradición era muy común que los hombres tuvieran varias esposas, pero él dijo, no, voy a hacer solamente para ti. En ese momento llega una mujer de los rábanas, de una, digamos, una familia diferente, quiere casarse con él le dice, pues no, no puedo casarme contigo, él dice, bueno, entonces me voy a casar con tu hermano, el hermano se fue con él a acompañarlos en el bosque, y el hermano dice, no, tampoco, porque es que yo estoy aquí es para servir a mi hermano, si no me interesa pues estar casado con nadie más. Entonces, pues ella muy ofendida se va donde su familia y la familia emprende pues sí, una cruzada para vengarse de alguna manera de Rama y separar, llevarse a Sita, más o menos secuestrarla. Entonces hacen, bueno, una cantidad de cosas, pues como son dioses, entonces alejan al hermano de Rama de su lado, porque se disfrazan como un ciervo de oro que sale corriendo, Sita quiere el ciervo, entonces Rama se va a buscar el ciervo, y después hacen o engañan al hermano, a Lakshman, al hermano de Rama, eh, haciéndole escuchar la voz de Rama pidiéndole ayuda. Entonces, pues Rama le dice, pero yo cómo me voy y dejo a Sita aquí sola, pero Sita le dice, no, no, si Rama te está llamando, ve y ayúdalo. Entonces Lakshmana se va, Sita se queda sola, pero a Lakshmana le dibuja una línea de protección para que nadie acceda a ella ni le vaya a hacer ningún daño. No obstante, en ese momento aparece otro de las familias de los rábanas, digamos como un monje pidiéndole comida, y en India es tradición y de honrarse que si alguien te pide comida debes darle. Entonces ella le dice, bueno, sí, claro, con mucho gusto te doy la comida, pero el monje insiste en que salga de la línea y pues ella dice, bueno, ¿cómo voy a no entregarle la comida? Sale de la línea y en ese momento la secuestran y se la llevan para el sur de la India, está más o menos en el centro de la India, y se la lleva al sur a Sri Lanka, una isla, y allí la mantienen. Entonces, pues bueno, después regresan Rama, Lakshmana, súper preocupados porque no encuentran a Sita, y en ese momento aparece Hanuman, aquella representación de la deidad en forma de mono, que es el hijo de una de las deidades más importantes de la mitología, que es el viento, y Hanuman va a Sri Lanka, porque por el camino Sita ha dejado todas sus joyas como camino para que la encuentren, y allá pues finalmente la rescatan y la regresan. Y en ese momento ya Rama regresa como rey y pues es recibido con el mayor júbilo por todos los habitantes de su ciudad. Eh, esa es la celebración de Diwali, justamente. Era la noche más oscura del año, sí que coincide, de hecho, esta festividad coincide con la luna nueva que estamos presenciando hoy. Y como es la noche más oscura del año, todo el mundo lo recibe con luces en gratitud porque ha regresado pues este poderoso rey a su trono. Y más allá de eso, lo que nos cuenta Abhijit con respecto al significado es que finalmente Rama, es muy lindo, Ram significa la luz, Ma en el interior, ¿sí? Nuestra luz interior. Sita tiene que ver con la mente, ¿m? que siempre muchas veces como que pues está con la luz interior, otras veces se aleja. Y Lakshmana viene siendo como aquel que sirve a la luz para mantener a la mente controlada dentro de nosotros. También dice que Rábanas, aquellos que hicieron pues todos estos trucos para alejar a Sita de Rama, viene siendo como el ego, ¿sí? Esa identificación con las cosas, con los roles, con las formas, con las cosas externas que nos alejan de quien realmente somos. Y todos estos habitan en la ciudad Abhijit, excuse me, what's the name of the city? Could you repeat the name of the city? The
Sorry?
See, the city when they live that represents that there's no
City
war between
Ayodhya.
us.
Ayodhya. Ayodhya means
Ayodhya.
where there is no war.
Thank you.
Yodhya means war. Ayodhya, no war.
Thank you very much. Y la ciudad, Ayodhya, que es lo que me está recordando Abhijit, que significa el lugar donde no hay guerra. Ayodhya es nuestro ser, donde no hay guerra porque todo funciona de manera sincrónica. Y es justamente lo que representa para pues, las personas que estamos en la práctica, en ese camino de crecimiento espiritual. Honrar el cuerpo, saber que tenemos la luz dentro de nosotros, que la mente va y viene muchas veces alada por el ego que nos separa de esa luz interior, pero siempre queremos volver y honrarla. Entonces, este es el significado último de Diwali, también un significado hermoso. Abhijit, thank you very much. I try to be very concise. Thank you very much for the wonderful, the beautiful meaning of this story. And well, I don't know if you want to finish with something else related to this very important celebration, not only for the tradition, but also for the spiritual path that you have pointed out with the significance of the stories. And if yeah, I just wanted to know if you want to finish with something additional.
No, that's pretty much all I would say. But the main significance for a spiritual seeker, when if you see this festival from the spiritual light, now from a very yogic point of view, I would say there are two festivals, big festivals in India. One is Holi and one is Diwali. So they are both happening when there is switch between the seasons. When we are switching from the basically the summer and rainy season to the winter season. During the fall, during the autumn, we have Diwali. During spring, when we are switching from the winters to summers, we have Holi. So these two are the big festivities in India. So these switch, when they happen, there is a lot of changes happening in our body, which makes us, mentally going through a different kind of phase. So coming together, celebrating, chanting, praying, help us to go through this transition very nice. And it's a very good time for detoxing. These both time are actually very good time for detoxing, though we eat a lot during this time, but it's a good time for detoxing. And also the Diwali, we have more of carbs, and the winter is coming in India. So that's how it's traditionally rooted, even the what we do here. But from a spiritual point of view, Swami Shivananda, I was reading one of Swami Shivananda, and it was very beautifully written. The even a single ray of the light inside, any light outside can't match it. The simple sight of that light inside, any light outside can't match it up. So once we find that light inside, we are lighted like a lamp who is lighting everything around. And remember to make it a vali. Once you become the Deepa, make it a vali. Spread that light around. That is a message of this festival, and that would be my message also. That find that light within first. First get lighted yourself, and then light everyone around you. And life will become a celebration. Earth will become a celebration itself. So that would be the significance of Deepavali for spiritual seekers.
Oh, thank you, Abhijit. Again, a very, very beautiful message. Thank you very much. I'm going to end also making a short summary of that beautiful message of yours. Um, Y aquí lo que nos dice Abhijeet para finalizar es que, bueno, este es uno de dos festivales muy importantes que se celebra en India porque es el cambio de estación. Si aquí comienza el invierno, hay otro muy importante también cuando se cambia de el invierno a la primavera, que es un momento, digamos, para hacer esa transición, para ser consciente de la transición que ocurre en nosotros como seres humanos, en nuestro entorno. Pero este en particular, también asociado al nombre, sí, Diwali, que es esa luz interior, es que una vez la encontremos, así sea un poquitito de luz, que hagamos la parte de Pavali, que es expandirla alrededor de nosotros, entregar esas cualidades a quienes nos rodean para pues seguir ese crecimiento personal y hacer el mundo mejor. Ese es el mensaje con el que él se quiere despedir para quienes nos hemos acercado al camino del yoga, tal vez, y como eso sí es mío, un poquito buscando más allá de lo que nos da en términos de las posturas, sobre el tapete, que es mucho lo que conocemos en este lado del mundo, para realmente conectarnos con la luz y expandirlas al resto de personas. Eso hace un mundo mejor. Abhijeet, thank you very much for sharing these beautiful stories and the wonderful meanings with myself, with the people who is listening to you and to us right now. For me, it's been a pleasure to see you again, to have the honor of receiving your energy, your passion, your knowledge. Thank you very much.
It's been a great pleasure for me to Edna. It is said that there is a sloka that comes in, actually mantra or sloka you can say. It's called Shri Ram Ram Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahatra Nam Tattulyam Ram Nama Varanane. So it meaning is the Ram, the just taking a single name Ram is so liberating. It is equivalent to taking thousands name of Lord, just taking the name of Ram. And I got the opportunity to share the glory of Ram with everyone. So I feel myself to be blessed to have this chance. And thank you, Edna, to give me this chance to be a small medium to spread a little word of Lord. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhijeet. Abhijeet nos compartió un bello mantra de Rama que es justamente para expandir la luz con todos ustedes, con todos los que están escuchando. Abhijeet, I would love to give you a hug in the distance. I hope we
Me too.
yeah, I hope we can talk again soon or maybe see each other soon over there in India. So I thank you again for your time, for your sharing. I wish you the best with all you're doing right now, with your study, with all this wonderful knowledge and light that you're spreading through your studio, your students, and everything that you're doing. So blessings in all of that.
Thank you. Same to you, Edna. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So namaste, thank you, and bye bye.
Buenas noches, right?
Buenas noches, yeah.
I'm learning to do this.
Gracias. Thank you, bye bye.